So we're back here on the Duncan Duo Show. Andrew Duncan, the Duncan Duo team, LPT Realty at the Duncan Duo, all social channels. My team is hiring. We're growing. We just launched a Realtor.com Market VIP program, increased our advertising for home sellers. We are looking to hire agents. We're looking to hire both agents to work with buyers and agents to work directly with sellers. We've never hired agents to work with sellers from the outside before, and we are opening that up because we have more opportunities than we can keep up with. So if you are interested, you can go to jointheduo.com. You can set up a career consultation on our Calendly link. You can apply at any of the open positions on there. You can also send us a DM and say, hey, I'm interested in your team. I'd love to learn more. And we'll set up a confidential consultation to disclose to you what agents are, what the expectations are, how our agents are performing, and what we expect to happen in 2026. Speaking of 2026, I believe 2026 is going to be a really good real estate year. I want to give you kind of a forecast. If you're a buyer or you're a seller that's going to buy or move up, I really want you to listen to this. Waiting is going to hurt you. It's going to hurt you. Now, I may not agree with everything that's happening in monetary policy or in politics, but we have a pretty clear indication of what is going to happen in 26 for a few things. Number one, we're going to get property tax relief in Florida. Whether they get abolished or whether they get partially abolished or whether it's only for homestead or whether it's a certain price point, there's still a lot yet to be decided. But that is Governor DeSantis' legacy play. I believe it will happen. I think it is going to be on the ballot in 26, which means it happens in 27. Markets move ahead of those things. Same thing with the Fed. When everybody's predicting a high probability of a Fed rate cut, Treasury bonds and mortgage rates soften because they move ahead of that actually happening. As we get closer to the date that some of that tax relief could show up, I'm telling you, the real estate market will improve. We will move people here. People will move here for that purpose. Secondly, interest rates. So not only do we believe there's going to be property tax relief, very confident that interest rates are going to be much lower in 26. First off, we're on the heels of another Fed rate cut potentially next week. I think there's a high probability that that happens. In addition to that, we're going to have a new Federal Reserve governor in 26. Maybe even one or two more Fed voting governor or Fed. Yeah, so we're going to have a new chair next year and a couple more governors potentially changing over. Those people that are going to be positioned are going to have to 100% align with President Trump's monetary belief that rates need to be drastically cut. They're going to run it hot. Whether or not it's good long-term, no idea. What I can say is they're going to cut interest rates pretty dramatically. I believe we're going to see not quite COVID record-breaking interest rates, but a pretty dramatic drop in interest rates. And if you look historically at the real estate market in Tampa Bay over the last 20 years, the highest rates of appreciation were during the periods of time where we massively cut rates, the COVID era. We saw rates get really cheap and prices skyrocket. So those are two things. We know the Fed chair is going to be replaced, and we know the Fed chair is going to have to, convince and be so bullish on the market that he's going to be a rate cutter. We just know it. It's just the way it is going to be. So if we know that's coming in May, what does that mean for interest rates next year? They're coming down. And when they come down, prices skyrocket, just like they did in COVID. So if you're waiting on the fence right now, if you're a seller and you're like, oh, I'm going to wait, or you're a buyer and I'm going to wait, it's a bad idea. Now, let me explain why. Because when rates drop, prices skyrocket. So you might think, oh, wow, I'm going to get this great deal. Well, let me explain to you. Talk to the market. Talk to your friends that overpaid for their house and got stuck. The prices are going to skyrocket. You can always change your rate. You don't have the ability to change the price on your house, but you can refinance. So my recommendation, if you're on the fence, if you're one of two people right now, if you are a home buyer that doesn't own property, get off the fence, or it's going to get a lot more expensive. The reason it's going to get a lot more expensive is because the rate drops aren't going to be as dramatic as the price increases. We're going to see some rate cuts, but they're not going to match how fast prices are going to rise when those rates cut. Secondly, if you're a seller, if you own a home right now and your plan is to move up, get going. Don't wait, because you may think, well, the house that I own, it's worth $400 and I'm buying an $800. And I want my house from $400 to go up to $450. That sounds great to me. What do you think the $800,000 house is doing? You think it's sitting in a vacuum doing nothing? It's going to go up more. If the market appreciates at 10%, your $400,000 house went up 40. Your 800,000 that you want to buy went up 80. You lost money. Get ahead of that. Don't wait until rates start dropping even more to buy or sell. If you're a move up or you don't own a home and you're looking to buy, do it now and then benefit from the equity run up and refinance later. And again, could there be a chance that rates don't drop as much? Yeah, of course. I mean, there's all kinds of economic things that could happen. But what I'm telling you right now is everything points towards every prediction market, poly market, which I love. If you don't know what poly market is, check it out. Every prediction market out there is telling us what's happening. President Trump has been very clear about his policies. There are a lot of efforts being put in by Director Pulte for the Federal Housing Finance Agency to improve the mortgage process and find different products to pick up the real estate market. The housing stocks. This is the other thing too. Wall Street moves ahead of the market too. Look at what's happened to housing stocks in the past few months. They're all way up. They're way up. Even in periods of time where the rest of the market or tech was down, housing market stocks, they keep getting better. It's because they know what's coming. They're getting ahead of that. They're locking in the Wall Street, who have the most expensive paid analysts in the world. They know what's coming. The boom is coming. So if you're waiting, you're going to lose. Not only are you going to get outbid and maybe not get the house that you want, but it's going to cost you more money. So my recommendation, again, if you're a move-up buyer, and you own a home, you should look at acting relatively soon. If you're a home buyer or if you're looking to buy and you don't own a home or you're moving here from somewhere else, you should buy. If you're a move down, it could make sense. Your equity rise may make sense to stay put because you're going to get a financial gain on your bigger property before you move down, and the appreciation on the properties are mismatched. If you've got a 400 and you're moving down to a 200, if prices go up, your 400 goes to 440, you put more money in your pocket, and then you buy a 200 that goes up to 220. So the move down buyer would probably be the only one where I think the trends and alignment make financial sense to potentially wait and see how this plays out. Everyone else, I think, loses if they don't. Now, again, there are a lot of things that could have a local impact on our real estate market that could change this. If there's a terror attack or a world war, of course, if we get hit next year with a major hurricane in the middle of the summer, those are things that could throw a wrench in this. So real estate is the slowest moving market in the world. It just doesn't escalate. It doesn't, increase and drop the same way crypto or the stock market does. Crypto and the stock market are very volatile and emotional. You can see a stock drop 5 or 10% in a day, even more. I know a stock that dropped 40% in a day. Housing doesn't do that without an external force. The only way the value of a home drops 40% is if it gets destroyed or wiped out from a storm. Besides those things, real estate is really slow moving, but we know these things are coming. They're not coming next week. So you got some time. They're not coming next week or even next month, but they're coming. So it's much different. And I get this question a lot from people. The political climate that we're in right now, we're going to move people here. We're going to see population growth again. That's also a contributing factor why I think we're going to have a boom in 26. But again, real estate is the slowest moving market in the world. People have to understand that. Mamdani in New York, I'm getting calls from people. Well, now that he's elected, my house value is going to go up. Your house value is probably going to go up just because of all the factors that I think are in place. But also depends on what you plan to buy. It's going to go up too. Again, like I said, the only person that it really makes sense to wait for prices to go up would be the move down buyer. But let me talk about the political climate a little bit and explain this to people. Just because he was elected doesn't mean people are suddenly moving here. Like I had a call this week with somebody who was like, all these rich people are going to move here now. Do you think rich people can just up and move their families? They got kids, they got jobs, they got companies. Takes a while. It's going to take a long time. People that live in New York love New York. It's going to take him doing some stuff. Politicians have a lot of promises. Whether or not they actually get any of these things done that get them elected is a whole other argument. He's going to have to do some of those things, and there's going to have to be some negative impact first before you start seeing the needle move. And then when you do start seeing the needle move, it takes time. People have to sell their home up there. They've got to come and look. So is it going to have an instantaneous impact on real estate values? No. Could it have a long-term trail? Possibly. It might. But again, it depends. If someone loves living in New York, until things start changing or happening or policies actually get passed, the guy's not even inaugurated yet. Just understand that when I talk to people that try and compare, the stock market or crypto to real estate values, they're so incomparable, completely not comparable at all. They don't operate the same way. They don't operate from the same status. You don't use your Google stock. You use your house. Okay. You got to move your family. You don't have to when you're pushing a button. It just doesn't move the same way. So you have to take away your thoughts about how certain announcements or decisions might impact a financial market or a stock or crypto, for example, and understand that real estate just doesn't work that way. It is a very slow moving market. Now, do I think there will be some positive impact from some of the things in New York? Possibly. Again, like that means I believe that politicians do what they say they're going to do. Some do, some don't. So possibly some positive impact a year down the line by the time people get through the holidays and decide to look in the spring and summer and buy something and move. Of course, there's a possibility. But again, your home isn't instantly valuable overnight. Real estate is very slow moving.